If you are still confused whether you should update to iPhone 14 Pro Max or you want to update from older version of iPhone and think which one should I buy, then here are the reasons why both phones have a lot to offer. But before moving on, make sure to subscribe to the channel. No doubt iPhone 13 Pro Max is almost a year-old device, but it can hold against the iPhone 14 Pro Max in some key areas where you can tell yes, iPhone 13 Pro Max has a great value to offer. But if you are from US and want to change the phone, then you have to go over eSIM options. So travel boys and girls should have a look on this before buying the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The most significant change you can see on the iPhone 14 Pro Max is its display. Yes, after iPhone 10, Apple changed the notch display to a new display called Dynamic Island, where iPhone 13 Pro Max comes with the same notch display. Now thing to notice, iPhone 14 Pro Max comes with LTPO Super Retina display with a 120Hz refresh rate, meaning your iPhone 14 Pro Max can go from 1Hz to 120Hz depending on your usage. But iPhone 13 Pro Max comes with the Super Retina 120Hz display, which can go only from 10Hz to 120Hz. Also, iPhone 14 Pro Max comes with whopping 2000 nits peak brightness, whereas the iPhone 13 Pro Max comes with only 1200 nits peak brightness. If you use your phone outside most of the time, then iPhone 14 Pro Max is your only go-to option. Also, iPhone 14 Pro Max has a feature called Always On Display, but iPhone 13 Pro Max don't have this feature, and as per Apple, you're not going to get this feature on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. If you don't like or not interested in Dynamic Island, then iPhone 13 Pro Max still has a good display. Now battery is something worth noting, and I should emphasize on this thing as both phones shares almost the same battery, 4352 mAh on the iPhone 14 Pro Max and 4323 mAh on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. But surprising to see that the iPhone 13 Pro Max lasts longer than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And if you use your Always On Display, then it will also reduce your battery life. Although Apple just gave a new update to dim down the Always On Display, but still iPhone 13 Pro Max lasts longer than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Not much, but a couple of minutes. But as per Apple claims, it can last 2 hours more than the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which is not true by any means. Charging speeds are quite same as 30 watt on the iPhone 14 Pro Max and 27 watt on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. If you are the one who like taking photos and especially videos, then you should listen to this, as iPhone 14 Pro Max make a big jump over the iPhone 13 Pro Max, where we get the 48 megapixel main shooter, and along with this we get the features like Pro RAW, cinematic mode, and new photonic engine which helps in low light imaging, makes iPhone 14 Pro Max a complete photography gadget. But iPhone 13 Pro Max comes with the same 12 megapixel main shooter. Yes, iPhone 13 Pro Max didn't have these features, but if you don't pay close attention to details and just casual photos and videos, iPhone 13 Pro Max still gets the job done. But if you need an extra feature, you should go for the iPhone 14 Pro Max, although other two lenses will remain the same at 12 megapixel ultra wide and 12 megapixel telephoto. Performance is something everyone considers before buying, but did you guys know that iPhone 13 Pro Max is still a great performer against other Android smartphones? But iPhone 14 Pro Max is ahead of the iPhone 13 Pro Max. As per numbers, it is 17% faster than the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and these numbers are from Geekbench, so you can get a better idea. Benchmarks don't have a final verdict, still user experience is what matters, and both phones done a great job here. Obviously, iPhone 14 Pro Max comes with a 16 Bionic chipset, and iPhone 13 Pro Max comes with a 15 Bionic chipset, a 1-year-old chipset. But you guys might know that the iPhone 14 base model have a 15 Bionic chipset, which means this thing has enough power to go in the latest phone. The storage and RAM options are identical, 6 gigs and 128 gigs as base model and 1TB version as a top model. One additional feature you guys see on the iPhone 14 Pro Max is its new satellite connectivity feature, which could potentially save your life. Although right now it is only available in Canada and US, so if you are not in these countries, you shouldn't look at this feature. Also, as per Apple, this feature is free for only 2 years. After 2 years, Apple will charge for this service. If you want to see how iPhone 12 Pro Max performs against the iPhone 14 Pro Max, then make sure to watch this video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.